What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday we got the full trailer for Season 1 of Black Ops Cold War, as well as a ton of information on what we can expect to see throughout the season. So in today's video, we're going to be going over all of the really important details and the content that we're going to be seeing with Season 1. And then also, Treyarch did confirm that they will have a weapon balancing pass with the Season 1 update. So I wanted to share sort of my speculation for what I think is going to be changing and what I hope will be changing when it comes to weapon balance. But hopping right into it here, we did get the season blueprint. And let's start it off with the multiplayer stuff before we get into Warzone, because there's a bunch of stuff that's coming with Warzone, because this is when the integration with Cold War is happening in Warzone. But yeah, we'll start it off with multiplayer. The first thing is we are getting 3 6v6 maps. One of them is Raid, which has already been confirmed. One of them is The Pines, which is that mall map. And then the third one is Nuketown Holiday. So it's Nuketown, but with a holiday theme to it, and it's at night. Unfortunately, that's it. So in reality, we're getting one brand new map this season for 6v6, and then we're getting a remake, which is Raid, and then just a different themed map that's already in the game, which is Nuketown. And with this, I've got to say, I'm pretty disappointed. I was hoping we would see at least one more, like, brand new 6v6 map, but we're not getting that. At the same time, I'm really stoked to play Raid again, especially in its original form. This is a straight-up remaster of Raid from Black Ops 2, which is awesome. But yeah, I can't help but think that there's still just not enough 6v6 maps. I wouldn't be as disappointed with this if the game at least launched with like 12 or 14 6v6 maps, but it didn't. It only launched with 8. And within the context of Cold War, at least, we're only getting 2 new maps, like 2 maps that we haven't played in Cold War yet, because the Nuketown version, that's just a reskin version of a map that we already have access to in Cold War. So yeah, a little bit disappointed in that, but still pretty excited to be playing Raid. Next up for multiplayer, 2v2 gunfight is coming with Season 1, and with this comes 4 maps. We've got U-Bahn, ICBM, KGB, as well as Game Show. And with this, I'm definitely interested in checking it out and playing a little bit of Gunfight. Gunfight didn't really hold my attention too long in Modern Warfare, even though I enjoyed myself with it. So I guess we'll just have to see how much I end up liking 2v2 in Cold War. But next, another mode that's going to be coming at launch for Season 1 is Prop Hunt, which I'm a little surprised to see it's coming so soon. I thought this would have been a mode that we'd see like several months down the road, but it is coming at the beginning of Season 1. And then later in the season, we're going to be getting a new mode called Dropkick. And this is kind of like Team Defender, where both teams are trying to pick up a briefcase. It's in the middle of the map. And when a player picks up that briefcase, they now only have access to a pistol. It says it's a powerful pistol, but they only have access to a pistol, and their teammates need to defend them. And the team that's holding the briefcase will be racking up score. However, it is also worth mentioning, if your team is holding the briefcase, you won't be respawning until that briefcase is dropped. So you basically pick up the briefcase, and then your team has to hold off and defend that for as long as possible until you're all dead. And then once the briefcase is dropped, then everybody can respawn from that team, and you try and do it all over again. So it sounds like an interesting mode. It seems very familiar, but there's a little bit of a twist to it. And I think that could be fun, especially if you're playing in a party. Maybe not so much as a solo player, though. But this brings us to the next thing that's coming for multiplayer, and this is a new Scorestreak, which is the Harp. And the Harp is basically our Blackbird or VSAT or Hater from the previous Black Ops games. And with this, when you call it in, it will show enemies in real time on the minimap, and it will also show the direction they're looking. So you'll see them as arrows in real time. It's not a sweeping thing. And also, based on leaks, it does appear that the Harp can be shot down, unlike the Blackbird from Black Ops 1. But moving on to the next thing that's coming throughout Season 1, this is Sanatorium, which is a brand new fireteam map, which is also going to feature a new vehicle, which is the Tactical Raft, because this is set on the edge of a lake. Which does sound very familiar. Once again, I want to reiterate, I have a very strong feeling that this is going to be part of the new Warzone map that we will likely be getting on the 1-year anniversary of Warzone. But with this map, it's worth noting it's not coming at the beginning of Season 1, it's going to be coming at some point throughout the season. Now, let's move on to the new weapons we're going to be getting, as well as operators. And first up with the weapons, we're going to be getting the MAC-10 SMG. And with this one, I anticipate a fairly high fire rate, and they also said that this has improved handling, so better handling than the other SMGs, I would assume, based on that description. Then after that, we've got the Groza Assault Rifle. And with this one, they also mentioned that it has good handling. Also, they say it has a high fire rate and solid damage, which I'm a bit disappointed to hear high fire rate. As it is right now in Cold War, most of the assault rifles are very similar to each other, and I'm kind of worried this is just going to fit in with the rest of them and behave basically the same way. What I was really hoping for with this season is a really low fire rate assault rifle, because we don't have a super low fire rate full auto assault rifle in this game. Like the Man of War from Black Ops 3 or the Rampart from Black Ops 4, we don't have anything like that, and it looks like the Groza isn't going to be filling that role. But those two are going to be within the free version of the Battle Pass for Season 1, so we can all earn those just by playing the game at the beginning of the season. And then, mid-season, we're going to be getting a full auto shotgun. This is modeled after the Striker, and they're calling it the Street Sweeper. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out, especially in Warzone, because these guns, when they come to Cold War, from Season 1 on, they're also going to be coming at the same time to Warzone. And those are the 3 new guns that are coming throughout Season 1, but we're also getting 2 new melee weapons, the Sledgehammer as well as the Wakizashi. I hope I didn't completely just butcher the pronunciation of that, but I probably did. Essentially, it is a sword. But next up, we have 3 new operators that are coming throughout the season. The first one we've already talked about. This is Stitch, and he's going to be coming in the beginning of Season 1. Then later in the season, we're going to be getting Bulldozer as well as Zayna. And with that, for regular multiplayer at least, that's pretty much what we can expect to see when it comes to content for Season 1. But like I said, Treyarch mentioned there is going to be a weapon balancing sweep here. And this is where I just wanted to share a few thoughts on some of the things that I hope will be changed and I think will be changed. First up, the burst rifles, the AUG and the M16, they are very likely going to be getting a nerf with the beginning of Season 1. Now, my personal hope is they don't take it too far. I still would like those guns to be good, just not as dominant as they currently are. I think the ideal change they could make to them is add upper torso multipliers and make it so you need to be hitting the upper torso or the head if you want to get a one-burst kill. If that were the case, I wouldn't feel nearly as bad about getting one-bursted by the M16 or the AUG. Instead, I would be thinking, nice shots. Additionally, I suspect they're going to be walking back the nerf that they gave to the FFAR, at least to some extent. Before it got a nerf, the FFAR was a very solid gun, and it had very little recoil, like surprisingly little recoil for the fire rate of that gun. And I do feel like it did need a bit of an adjustment. However, when they nerfed it, I think they took it way too far, and I would like to see them dial that back a little bit so they find a happy middle ground for it. So I'm hoping for less recoil than we currently have now, but still more recoil than we had at launch with the FFAR. Additionally, with this weapon balancing pass, I fully expect the M82 sniper rifle is going to be getting buffed. Tony Flame actually hinted about this a couple weeks back, so it looks like definitely the M82 is going to be getting some love, maybe some other adjustments to the other sniper rifles as well, I'm not too sure, but almost definitely the M82 is going to have something done to it. Now, one other big thing when it comes to weapon balancing that I hope we see with Season 1 is an adjustment to the launchers. Currently, the launchers are practically useless against enemy infantry, especially if they're using Flak Jacket. And don't get me wrong, Flak Jacket should save you from a single rocket, but it shouldn't be saving you from 3 rockets in a row. So I'm hoping for a change to launchers as well to make them a bit more effective against enemy infantry without making them completely overpowered. But we'll just have to wait and see for that one. And this is where I finally want to move into Warzone. With the beginning of Season 1, we're getting that big integration where all of the weapons from Cold War are going to be added to Warzone. And we did get our first look at what a Cold War weapon will look like in the gunsmith in Warzone. And this is the AK-47, so they're going to have both the Modern Warfare AK-47 as well as the Cold War AK-47. And you will be able to use the attachments from Cold War on the Cold War weapons. Now, we still don't know exactly how they're going to be adjusting these guns, but they will be adjusting some of their stats. There's no way they're just going to copy and paste them in, because they do have to be balanced properly with the Modern Warfare weapons. So definitely stay tuned to the channel for that. I am going to be doing my best to stay on top of the different stats between Warzone as well as multiplayer. But yeah, big update. Cold War weapons are coming to Warzone. And then, of course, we've got Rebirth Island coming, which is coming alongside Verdansk. It is not replacing Verdansk. This is going to be more of a side mode in Warzone, and this is essentially just a remake of Alcatraz from Blackout, but with a slightly different style, and the one thing I like about it is it's daytime. So it's going to be a lot more bright than we had with Alcatraz in Blackout, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to have a different mood and feel to it. And with this, they said they're aiming to have trios as well as quads, and maybe even other modes in the future, but we are going to have a reduced player count, obviously, since it's a much smaller map. Now with this, we also got a first sneak peek at what the Gulag will look like for Rebirth Island. It's not going to be the same as the Gulag that we have in Verdansk. But also, even the Gulag for Verdansk is going to be changing with this Season 1 update. So for the standard Warzone modes, instead of having those Gulag showers, now this is going to be our new Gulag. And it's a mock-up section of the center part of Nuketown. which definitely fits in with that Cold War theme, and it's meant to take place in that Soviet training facility where they had that small American town built for training purposes. So I personally think that's a really cool addition to Warzone. Now, one last thing I almost forgot to mention here is the attack chopper is coming to Warzone, and with this, it's a helicopter that has miniguns mounted on them. And this is something that was actually teased a really long time ago. Like with the initial Warzone trailer, you could see a brief clip of someone using an attack chopper, and it's finally coming with Season 1. I really hope they manage to keep this balanced and keep it in check so that you don't have people just going around destroying everybody with these. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see how they play out. And with that, that's pretty much it. That's everything I felt was worth mentioning. I guess there's also going to be the new Battle Pass, which is going to have a ton of cosmetics. You can see throughout these images in the trailer and stuff. There's a lot of different like operator skins, for instance, and weapon blueprints, which is great. That's going to fill out the content a lot more within the game. And a big hope for me at this point is we're going to be getting all these operator skins that are hopefully going to be a lot more bright and pop a lot more against the environment. And I'm hoping it's going to help with the visibility issues, because that is still one of my biggest complaints with the multiplayer of Black Ops Cold War. But with that, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what are you guys thinking about the looks of Season 1 so far for Cold War, as well as the integration into Warzone? Are you guys really excited for this season? Do you think it's a lot of content and everything's looking good? Or are you a bit disappointed and were you expecting more out of this? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.